Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Nev. So in today's video, what I want to do is I want to talk about an add-on that I've been using now for about a week, and it's called Cell. Now, Cell is a RAID frame add-on that has built-in mouse support. Okay, so you can just use this add-on. You no longer need Clique or Click, however you say it. You don't need to do the in-game mouse over macros or anything like that. And you don't have to create custom macros in order to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set up Cell. And I'm going to show you how to set it up from a completely new profile, right? So this thing shouldn't have anything on it, and I'll walk you through on how to set some of this stuff up. Now, I have only been playing around with this for about a week, so do forgive me if I failed to mention a couple of cool things, but it's the best I could do. All right, so you notice one of the things that you might notice about this add-on right now is that it has this red button up here, right? And it says if we right click, it refreshes the units buttons, and I think this means pretty much that if there was like an error or something with Cell, you could right click and it would fix it. However, if you left click on the button, it brings up this cool like dialogue, right? This cool configuration. And one of the coolest things about Cell that I personally like right now over something like Vuhdo is that it has a modern configuration, right? I love Vuhdo. I do. I think it's a great add-on and everything like that, and it's been around for years. But the problem with Vuhdo is that the configuration user interface is garbage. It's outdated and it's complete garbage, right? So this is more of a modern, kind of a modern feel, right? All right, so let's look at the tabs, and then we'll go over quickly how to set up like a profile and everything. So we have the general tab. Now, this pretty much covers some of the general settings and everything. We have appearance, which appearance, like the name suggests, that will cover the appearance of the actual frame itself. You have click casting, which this is where you do all your mouse over macro stuff. Okay, they have an about, and it says right here that it is compatible with weak auras. So if you have something that takes control of your frame with weak auras, it should still work. And it's also compatible with Omni CD and all of that stuff. Okay, so you have about, then you have some layout stuff. So if you have multiple layouts, meaning let's say that you have one profile set up for when you're raiding versus when you're doing Mythic Plus, you can do that, okay, which is awesome. All right, and then we have a indicator tab. Now this indicator tab, this is pretty much like all the stuff that will be on your frame. So like if a tank has a defensive cooldown, it'll show up. If you put a defensive or an external on the tank or something, it'll show up. If you have a hot, so you can see my Riptide right there is rolling on my frame, and yeah, it'll show up. Okay, then we have raid debuffs. This has some of the raid built-in stuff. Now, I don't think this has the newest raid that's in TWW, but I could be mistaken. It looks like it has also some okay, so it does. It has current season, Dragonflight, Shadowlands, Legion. So it has all of this stuff built in, right? And this also has all of the debuffs that the that the mobs put on people, right? And then we have this utility tab. So if you play a class that has a battle res, there will be a battle res timer on your frame, which is cool. It's actually not on your frame; it's like above. Like it'll be like in this this area up here, but it'll have a battle res and a timer. You can also do there's a couple of these other things like track buffs and stuff. I really don't mess with all that. Okay, so first things first, let's figure out how to make a custom profile. Okay, so so you can export, show current instance. Oh, here we go. Click casting. So I guess the profile is only for the casting stuff. I'm pretty certain. Okay. Now, what's kind of cool too is you can use a different profile for different specs, right? So this is the current profile for restoration. And then if you switched over to elemental, then it would have a different click casting profile for elemental, which makes it super handy because a lot of your add-ons like Vuhdo, for instance, I remember I had to go in, I had to make 2 or 3 different profiles depending on if I was in Mythic Plus and if I was in Raid, depending on if I was playing a healer, if I was playing a tank, like when I played my Mistweaver and stuff. So this is super cool, and it allows you just to have you know, a different profile for each different specs, and it automatically loads, right? Now, you could create a new profile right here, okay? So it says you can left click to edit, or right click to delete. So I am clicking this button. I keep saying I'm in the wrong zone. I don't understand. I guess is that... Yeah, that really doesn't work, does it? Huh. That's weird. That is totally weird. I could export my profile if I wanted to. Like, there's my shaman export string. I could import if I had someone else's profile. But I cannot delete. It says left click edit, right click delete. I guess the deleting profile thing doesn't work. Let's check out and see. Let's see if we can create new layouts. Okay, so we can create new layouts. So layouts do actual work. That's cool. Okay, I'll just keep a default layout. It doesn't really matter, right? What about, can we do want to help improve raid debuffs? Okay, this is raid stuff. I guess we could click create down here, and we could put a new debuff to track in specific dungeons. Okay, so we could do that. You can also, should be able to delete stuff as well. I guess we can't delete stuff that's set automatically by the maintainer. I do not know what's going on with this. We could turn it off. Okay, yeah. We could turn it off and it won't show up. But we can't actually delete it from the list. Maybe this delete button right here is the stuff that we import ourselves. I'm not sure. I am not sure what's going on with that. But regardless, everything else does seem to work, okay? So let's start on the general tab, because we gotta get the general stuff done before we get any of the other stuff done, right? So we do want the visibility. We do want it to show on solo, because if we had this turned off, you can see it wouldn't show up on solo, okay? We want it to show up on party, because we don't want the default Blizzard unit frames to show up. We want to use cell in a party, and this also works for raid as well. I guess they use party as just like a generalized word. We want to hide Blizzard party, If you don't click this, then pretty much Blizzard unit frames will also show up. The Blizzard party frames, rather. And then we want to hide the Blizzard raid party frames also. Okay, cool, easy. All right, we can also lock cell frames, so we can lock this frame in place. But if we wanted to move it, we could just click and drag, and we can drag it anywhere that we want on our desktop here, or our game. And then if we want to lock it in place, boom, we locked it. And now you see we can't drag it no more. All right, fade out menu. So this is, if you don't want that red button up there, it will fade in and out. Now, I keep it. I don't fade it out, but I get that some people would accidentally click the configuration thing by accident. I can see how you could do that. We also have the menu position, so we can put it on the left, we can put it on the top. They don't matter. We can also do a nickname thing. So if I wanted to put in my nickname, boom. You see, it just changed my nickname. So instead of Nevrain, now it just says Nev. And you can also sync your nickname with other people, right? So if other people were using this add-on as well, I'm not sure if this works directly with details or not, but to be able to sync, just sync some, some information back and forth, that's kind of cool, right? If you, especially if you have like a nickname that you go by, which I always just go by Nev. So, all right, we can also do this always update buffs and always update debuffs. Now it does say when you fire up the add-on at the very start, it does say that I guess there's some bugs or something that's still kind of going on with it, and apparently indicators won't always show up properly if you don't have this always update buffs thing turned on. So I clicked it and I keep it on, okay? You can also increase the health update rate. Now, if you do this, if you increase this health update rate, it will, your CPU will have to work harder, okay? Because it has to, it's like a constant cycle, right? So, I keep it turned off, and I haven't noticed any lag or anything like that. It works just like any other raid frame, okay? So you can turn it on if you want to, but like I said, it will it's high CPU usage, and they even tell you right here it's a experimental feature. I don't know what this means. Does translate Clique to Latin? I guess if somebody translate Clique to Latin. I guess if somebody had something with Clique on, it would turn it into words. I'm not sure. I don't, everyone I play with, is usually either English speaking or Spanish. Okay, so let's go to appearance, because this is where some of the cool kind of stuff goes on, right? So we can scale. Oh, this is scaling. So this is scaling the user configuration. All right. So this part up here where it says cell, that's scaling the actual configuration thing. So if the config was too small for you, or if you couldn't read it, you can scale it up. All right, and then we can scale up our font size. I can see everything, okay? And then the strata, I'm not sure what strata actually means. I've seen that word a couple of different times, but I'm not sure. So unit button style. This is where we actually configure what we see when we make, when we make these raid frames or party frames, right? So you have texture, and we can change the texture. So you can see I got that's cell default. To me, cell default's a little dark, and then I usually go with OCD flat. OCD flat's okay. It is a flatter color, and this one's okay. So you can play around with this. Doesn't make a difference. It's your preference how you want your frames to look. Okay. You can also do this health bar color. Now I have mine set to class color. But what if we wanted a different color? What if we wanted gradient? Well, we can have gradient. What if we wanted gradient B? Pretty sure we could do gradient B. And you can see it also gives you a preview of what they would look like on the right hand side here. So this preview 2, that's what this would look like when we lose health, right? And then we got class color dark. I don't really like class color dark. And we can also do a custom color as well. Okay. Now there are some other things that we can do here. So we can enable full health color, and that would be our color. Okay. We can also do a health loss color. Same thing, we can do a custom color, we can do a class color. I usually like to keep mine on a custom, and then I make the loss kind of a black, okay? But they do have a death color, and you can see the death color on the right hand side is white. You can even change that if you want to. I don't like that. Power color. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, the only thing that I don't like about this add-on that I have seen so far is that you cannot turn off the power bar. I guess, you know, I don't even know what you would call it. Another bar, right? Now you guys can't see it because I have it blended in right now with my unit frame. But let's see what it would actually look like. So you can kind of see it right there. So if we did a... now this would be like mana, anything like that, right? So you can see it right here. You see that little sliver of white right there? I don't like that. I don't like that you can't turn it off. I don't need to know on my frame if I have mana. That's why I have a mana bar weakler, right? That's why I have a mana weakler that shows, you know, how much my group has mana. Okay, I don't need my frame to show me the you know, the mage's you know, the mage's mana or the mage's power. All that stuff I don't care about. The only thing I care about is buffs, debuffs, and buffs, debuffs, and, you know, their physical health, right? So what I do to get around this right now is I turn the power color, I turn it the same as my class color. And you can see when I do turn it to the class color, it does blend in a lot better, right? The only time it doesn't blend in is when I'm losing life, and you can kind of see over here. You can also do a bar animation. I personally like smooth. You can do flash. You can do smooth, or you can do none. I always just do smooth. Or icon options. So they got this too. Stack and duration. Okay. I know all that stuff. Health bar alpha. This is so you can turn the health bar way down, or you can turn way up. Health loss alpha, all the way up. Oh, you know, that's all that is, right? This background alpha, I'm not sure exactly what that That actually does. And this outer range alpha, with this alpha does, this alpha, when you're out of range with somebody, it turns your frames into like almost like unclickable, right? Because you're out of range. You can't hit those people. Then you can also mess with some different colors down here for like healing prediction colors, healing absorbs, shield textures, and all of that stuff. You also have all your debuff colors, right? So they got purple for curse, this pink for bleed, which kind of should be red. Disease is yellow, blue is magic, and green is poison. That makes sense. All right, quick casting. Let's actually go to layouts. We'll do quick casting last. So layouts. Right here is where you would do all your layouts. So what is a layout? A layout is how your frames are laid out. Are they vertical? Are they horizontal? Or are you only showing 5 frames in each column? Or are you showing, you know, how are you layering out these frames? And what size, right? So you can see right here. So if you wanted to change the width, you can change the width right here, and it shows you the width of all of your party frames. Now that's absolutely huge, but you can turn it any size you want. Orientation, I have mine set to vertical right now, so I would have 5 going down vertically, right? But I could have it horizontal if I wanted to. You also have some anchor points, some heights. Okay, unit spacing. So what this is how spaced are the frames, each individual frames. How spacey are they into X? So horizontally, and how spacey are they into Y? And the Y is vertical. You also have group columns. I just have mine set to 8, and you have power size. You know what? If I turn this power size to 0, I wonder. There we go. Oh my God. If the creator of this, if the creator of Cell watches this video, I apologize. All right, I did not see this. All right, I'm turning that to 0. The power thing is gone, guys. It's gone. Okay. Forget I even mentioned that because it is 100% gone. That's cool. That was my, my fault for not checking out everything, right? So we can also do these bar orientations, and there's some power bar filters. You can also do some cool stuff with pets. So if you want to heal your hunter's pets, you can do that. You can show party arena pets, and it will put a nice little pet next to whoever has a pet, You can also tweak their bar. You can also do NPCs, which is super, super, super useful. Because how many times in this game, especially as a healer, we have to heal some kind of NPC or something like that, and we have to tweak something in our healing add-ons in order to even click on them, right? This should solve the problem because it should populate automatically. All right? So this is and you can even separate the NPC name, which is super cool because, if you don't want to have everything stacked in a raid, you could have, a group over to the left of, NPCs. Think about Barak, right? So I'm pretty sure that's what this feature does, and that if it is, that's awesome. That's 100%, a good feature, right? We can also do the spotlight. I don't know what spotlight is. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it is. All right, but it's cool. We can also do these profiles via specs or these roles. Now, we can do a solo you can also, remember how I was showing you how you can have different layers or like layouts and stuff depending on if you was in raid. So right now, if we was in party and I wanted my party frames like this, but let's create a new one. So we'll call this raid, right? So now you can see that we'll just say raid instance and raid mythic. So now you would see our raid profile, right? Our raid profile would be completely different. Because we could move this. Let me figure out how to move this here. So for raid, I would have my profile set something like this. Automatic Jack does something like this. You always see all his healing frames at the bottom of his weak orders and stuff. And for raid, this is the same setup that I would use, right? So we could do raid, we could do layouts, layouts. I would have the width a little bit smaller. I would have the height obviously a little bit smaller, so my orientation would be horizontal. And it would be something like this, right? It would look better, guys, but you get the idea, right? So now, if I'm in a raid, you will see that all my raid stuff would show up like this, right? No. Why did it switch on me? It switched. Anyway, I'll have to play around with it more, but you guys get the idea. You can do each individual profiles and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Okay, you can also filter groups. Oh yeah. Okay, so we can do preview raid. That's what the raid preview would look like. Default layer would be like that. Which default layer? I don't want it to be like that. Default, I want that, and I want we ain't gonna lock it. Yeah, default I would want like that, and then we want vertical height like that. We want like that. Okay. So my default and solo profile would be like that. All right, and then my raid profile would be the one at the bottom that you guys just saw. All right, hope that makes sense. Can I not? Is there not a save? I guess it automatically saves. So every layout has its own position setting. That's what they say. Okay, that's fine. And you can also do arenas too if you guys are like arenas. Okay, let's go to indicators super fast. So indicators, again, you can see what layout, right? So maybe you want different indicators depending on if you raid or if you do Mythic Plus. If you raid, you might want to see other people's healing or other people's, their externals and stuff like that. If you do Mythic Plus, you only really want to see your stuff and whoever has like who has debuffs on them or who has who has like a bleed on them and stuff like that, right? So there's a bunch of different options. I'm not going to go through every single thing, but you can pretty much see so these indicators, so you have this tank active mitigation. So you'll be able to see on your frame, hey, tank has demon spikes, has iron fur, shuffles up, shield of the righteous and everything. Okay? You'll be able to see that. Now, you can also turn it off if you wanted to. So we can turn it off. Right? Dispels. Now, we can do, it will put an icon. I believe it puts an icon on your frame. You can change that icon if you wanted to, right? Boom. I want my icon huge, man. I want to know, right? 17 says. So that's, how big the icon will show up when there's a magic, debuff on me or whatever, right? Or something I can dispel. You can also the X offset, so you can move that icon around if you wanted to. Okay. You can also highlight type. Okay, so highlight type. Oh, okay. It would just put the icon. Well, we don't want to do that. We want, I like for the bar to physically, I like the bar to physically change colors. It just helps my brain. Okay, we can also do an aggro, so we can put aggro border. So if you want an aggro red border around your frame to show up when, if you grab aggro. They also have this aggro blink. I turned it off. I think it's stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's stupid. So I turned it off. All right. And you can see this enable up here. That's how you turn stuff off and on. You can also see that we can do raid icons. So say same thing. You turn them off, whatever, right? We can do a ready check icons. There's all kinds of stuff here that you can turn on and off. What if you don't even want to show your name? Well, turn it off. If you don't want to show your name, just turn it off. Boom. Name off. Right? You can also change of course you can change the font, you can change the font size, the outline, just everything. Everything that you want to do with these frames, you can do. All right. Let's look at some other stuff here. Okay. So with debuffs, you can add debuffs that you want to in a list or whatever, right? So there's a bunch of stuff, but pretty much there's a list of stuff that you can add down here. You can import stuff, you can clear certain stuff if you like Grievous Wound. Well, get rid of Grievous because Grievous ain't in the game anymore. But you can see, and if you want to put something in, well, you can just input the spell ID of whatever debuff that you want to track and put it in there, which is cool. Same thing with raid debuffs, right? They also have some private aura stuff. Now, we can't do too much with private auras because there's not a whole lot of things that will interact with private auras right now. But you can see their example. I believe this is incorporeal or one of those affixes that's gone off. It'll show up on the frame. Can't really do anything though with it. Consumables. So you could do some pretty cool stuff with some consumable stuff, right? So you can look at different types. And I don't understand what this really is. Huh. Oh, okay, I see. So if they hit health rocks, the type will be A. So you can see that their health bar would go up. Okay, I kind of understand a little bit. And then we have this healers section. Okay, so you can track cast by me, cast by others, cast by anyone else. Well, most of the time, I just want to track stuff that I cast, right? Unless I'm in a raid. Now, if I'm in a raid, I might want to track other people's cast. But that's what I'm saying. Having a different layout profile would allow you to kind of do that. And you can enter anything you want. If you want to track more stuff, enter in the input spell ID. And yeah, it'll work. If you want to get rid of some stuff, you can get rid of some stuff. It doesn't matter, okay? But there is a lot of stuff in that list, and you can keep track of all of it. Raid debuffs. Same thing with raid debuffs, okay? If you wanted so this is raid, this is Halls of Infusion, and let's look. Well, gushing wound is pretty big, right? Gushing wound right there. So condition, we can show the stack count, right? We can show the glow type. So we can do a lot of cool stuff, and we can even create new stuff if we wanted to. Now let's go to the click casting super fast. Click casting, what's click casting? Well, click casting just means that you click on your frame, right? And something happens. Or you hover over your frame, you hit a button, something happens, right? So how do we use this? Well, okay. So right here, I will make a new one. So we go to new, right? And it says not bound. Well, click it, and then it says press a key to bind. Well, I want to bind a healing wave to 1. So I'm going to hit 1. Right here it says general, right? So we have general, and it has all these types, right? So it has a menu if you're not in combat. It has a menu, assist, focus, target, which is kind of cool. You can even do macros if you wanted to, right? So you can put macros in this list as well. Or you can do a spell, right? So we want to spell with 1. Healing wave is a spell. So we click spell, and now we click over here, and you can see this list. And we can even edit this list and add more stuff to this list if we need something added. But let's do healing wave as 1. So click healing wave, hit save. Now, when I hit 1 on my keyboard, if I'm hovering over my frame, it'll do healing wave. And you can see it's casting healing wave. Okay? Fantastic, right? Okay. So I will show you kind of how I do mine. I like control right click to have the menu. Next thing is I will have 3 is Riptide here. Okay. And then Alt F will be my Purified Spirit. And I'll put some more stuff. And if I wanted to do a mouse click, so I can just right click on, well, new, right click, spell, and then I will do healing surge, right? So now if I right click on my frame, it's healing surge. If I do 3, it's Riptide. And you can see the little indicator right there of Riptide going. And if I wanted to boost that indicator up right there, you know, like, I don't like the size of that indicator, and I really don't. We're going to fix that right now. So I believe that is a buff. That's targeted spells. Dispels. Oh, healers. DTD. Alright. So if I do Riptide, what if I want to increase the size? Well, I do want to increase that size. Boom. So now you can see my Riptide. That, you know, that button's set there, but I just want 20. I think 20 is a pretty good size. But you guys get the idea, right? So that's how you do it. And this makes it super, super simple to, you know, to customize your healing frames the way that you want. And yeah, and I think whoever made this add-on, I forget his name, and I do apologize, but kudos to them, because in my opinion, this is a much better, it's a better Vuhdo, right? I've been using Vuhdo for years, and Grid. Now, Grid's not bad. The only thing I don't like about Grid, though, is that you have to have Clique with Grid, because it doesn't support mouse over macros. So if you're tired of using one of those other add-ons, like Vuhdo, like Grid, and you want something that's more modern, that has click casting built in, and that's actively being developed and the people in their Discord are like super chill, super nice, then give this add-on a try. All right, that's all I got for you folks. So until next time, you guys take care, be safe, and peace.